square root of x plus 1 equals x plus 1. So in this case, we already have the radical isolated. So let's go ahead and let's square both sides. So square root of x plus 1 squared is going to be equal to x plus 1 squared. So on the left, we just have x plus 1, and then on the right-hand side, we have a binomial. So that's x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so now we need to solve this equation. What type of equation is this? It's a quadratic equation. So how do we solve quadratic equations?
Set it equal to 0.
So move everything to one side, making the other side equal to 0, and then solve either by factoring, quadratic formula, square root method, whatever, completing the square, whatever is your favorite way of doing it. Okay, so the ones are gone. So we get x squared, and you subtract an x. We get x squared plus x. So here you can factor out an x. You get x times x plus 1, and then we can easily see the solutions. So from here it follows that x is equal to 0 or negative 1. Okay. Now remember, you have to be careful when you do this type of operation. When you square both sides, you may introduce solutions that are not there, okay? So when you're solving radical equations, you always need to check. In this case, the numbers are pretty small, so you can visually check this. So when you plug in 0, we get 1 on the left and we get 1 on the right. Yes? So we're good there. When you plug in negative 1, you're going to get 0 on the left and you get 0 on the right. So we're good. So both of these are solutions. Are we okay with this? All right, good. So then, let's see, what was the next one? So the next one was the cube root of 3x plus 5 minus 5 equals negative 3. And again, same idea, isolate the radical, but then in this case, we need to cube both sides. So we get cube root of 3x plus 5 is equal to 2. Then cube both sides. So we get 3x plus 5 is equal to 8. So 3x is 3. And give us that x is equal to 1. And once again, visually plugging in here. Let's see, if we plug in 1, we're going to get 3. So plus 5, that's an 8. Cube root of 8 is 2. Minus 5, that's negative 3. So we're good. Questions? Okay. And then let's do the last one. So that one was square root 5x plus 1 equals square root of x plus 1. So remember, when you're going to do a problem like this that has two radicals, make sure that one radical is by itself on one side and the other one you send it to the other side. Okay? If you have both radicals on the same side and you square, it's going to be a mess. None of the radicals are going to simplify, and then it's going to be more complicated. So what you want to do is something like this: leave this guy alone, one of them alone, the other one to the other side, square both sides, simplify what you get. This radical will be gone, the other one will survive, then you square again after you solve. Okay? You isolate it and then square again. Okay, so let's square both sides. So on the left, as promised, the radical is simplified. But now on the right, let's see, who can tell me, what do we get here? When I square this, what do we get?
X plus 2 square root of x
plus 1. Very good. Everybody understand this? That's how you expand the binomial. Okay? So as promised, one of the radicals is gone, but then there's another one that we need to take care of. Okay? So now we isolate that one. So I'm just going to move everything to whatever doesn't have a radical, this x and this 1, let's move it to the left. So subtract x, so we're going to get 4x, and notice that the 1s, they cancel out. So we get that 4x is equal to 2 times square root of x. Now here at this point, if you want, you can square both sides, but because this is a 2, when we have a 4 here, you could divide by 2 if you like. Okay? Just to make numbers smaller. But if this was a 5, for example, I would just leave it like this and then square at this point. Okay? That way you don't have to deal with fractions. But because we see that it's going to simplify nicely, then why not? Divide. And now square again. So we get 4x squared is equal to x. Now we need to solve this. So remember, this is a quadratic equation. So bring everything to one side, make it equal to 0, factor, and then 0 product rule. So from here we get x is equal to 0, or 4x minus 1 equals 0, which gives us then that x is 1 over 4. You okay with this? All right, now we need to check, okay? So let's see, if we put 0 in here, then certainly the left-hand side is going to be 1, and the right-hand side is 1. So 0 works, okay? So that one is fine. Now let's go ahead and let's check a quarter, just in case. So I'm going to check x equals 1 over 4. On the left-hand side, let's plug in. So that's 5 times 1 over 4 plus 1. So what is this? So it's going to be the square root of 5 over 4 plus 1. What's 5 over 4 plus 1?
9.
That's 9 over 4. So that's the square root of 9 over 4, which is 3/2. Okay. Now let's go to the right hand side and plug in. So we have square root of a quarter plus 1. So square root of 1 over 4, that's 1/2. 1/2 plus 1 is 3/2. So we're good. This is also a solution. But remember, you have to check because sometimes there could be one of these guys that do not work. Okay? And then you have to ignore it. So you have to be careful.